Hi guys, how are you? It's me, Annie, and welcome back to another video. And welcome back. Thank goodness that you are here. Thank you guys for watching my videos once again. I hope that everything is good, and I hope that everything has been okay within your family, within your health, and everything in general. I hope that you guys are doing awesome, and I hope that you are okay. So I wanted to start off. So if you guys might have seen by the title of the video is obedience or something along those lines. And not only obedience here on earth, but to God too. Since a lot of us, speaking of my age and my peers, a lot of us are still young and are under the age of 18, which means that our parents are still the ones that, let's say, give us house rules. And I feel that we have to follow those rules because, well, that's about what being obedient is. And for example, in the Bible, you have the 10 Commandments. And then at home, you might have a list or something that from a young age has been into your mind, or like I said, some people have some families have a list of them or things like that. But we all have rules in our life, and we all have limits, and we all have barriers within things. And when someone asks me oh, Annie, what is a story in the Bible that talks about obedience? I think about these two. And the two that I think about are the story of Adam and Eve and the story of Noah. So I'm gonna go through those two stories, but really fast, to give an overview or a fast overall on what they are about and what they talk about, and kind of go a little bit over it that people know what I'm talking about and people understand it. And because some people might have not read it, we're going to be reading the books out of the Action Bible. For those who have it, can go along with it. And sorry if the lighting changed a little. The sun went down, and so this lighting changed, and I can't really control the sun, but only the ring light. So we're going to be reading Tempted in the Garden. It is based on Genesis 3. So those who want to go through it on their Bible, it is based on Genesis 3. But if you have the Action Bible, that is the title of this chapter, Tempted in the Garden. So it says, "Look, Adam, the little bird comes when I call." Adam says, "God is good to us, and he has given us everything." And then Eve says, "Everything except fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil." And then Adam said, "Yes, that is forbidden." But Eve wonders, and one day she goes to the tree and gazes at the forbidden fruit. Satan, in the form of a serpent, tempts Eve. "Are you sure God said not to eat this fruit?" And then Eve says, "Oh yes, if we touch it, we will die." And then it says, the serpent says, "Oh, you won't die if you touch it, see? And if you eat it, you will be wise, just like God." Eve says, "You're right, and if this fruit will make me wise, surely there's no harm in taking just one bite." And then we can see right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's Eve, and she says, "Adam, it's delicious. It tastes delicious." And as you can see closely, she took a bite out of the fruit, and she's gonna go give it to Adam. And then Eve says, "It will make you wise." And there we can see Adam just took a bite. But then the forbidden fruit had far different effects than the serpent had promised. Suddenly, Adam and Eve realized that they disobeyed. There we see the word disobeyed God. Their innocence is taken away from them as well. So that's when they noticed that they were naked. So then Eve said, "We're not wise, we're just naked." And then Adam was, "Cover yourself with these leaves, we must hide." Quick disclaimer, this is not actually what they might have said. really, they're just trying to make it like a comic book form. So it's not exactly like Adam said, come on, we have to go hide. It's just like a form to representation of kind of give it more of a creative look and things like that. So in the stillness of the garden, God comes to Adam and Eve. And then God says, how did you know you were naked? Have you eaten the fruit I told you not to eat? And Adam says, I only ate it because the woman you gave me handed it to me. Then Eve says, the serpent you created tricked me. And then God said, because you disobeyed me, you must leave this beautiful garden. From now on, you will have to work hard to survive. God makes clothes for Adam and Eve out of animal skins and sends them away. Then Adam is looking back at the garden that is now sealed with swords and says, look at the flaming sword, it blocks the entrance to the garden. We can never go back now. Where can we go? What can we do? And we can see them looking back at the angels that are covering the entrance to the garden. And then we see God's promise of salvation. And it says, the perfect unity between God and his beloved creation is now broken for all time. Adam and Eve are forced to create their new life out of their knowledge and shame. But already, God has a plan to redeem his creation. God promises that one day he will send a savior for his people. And that's Jesus. So that is the story of Adam and Eve. And now we're going to move a few chapters ahead. And now we're going to go to chapter Rainy Days, which, for those who want to read it on their Bible, it is based on Genesis 6:7. I really like this form because in the Bible itself, the story of Noah is very, very, very short, and it's hard a little to imagine it. So I really like it in this form because it opens a little bit the story up, and I feel it gives you a little bit more creativity on it. So right here, Noah is saying, he's saying to the people, he's saying, your wickedness cannot continue. Turn away from your idol worship. Return to God who created you and gave us everything we have. The people said, God didn't give me everything I have. I stole it. Noah thinks he's better than everyone else. That's things people thought. Noah remains true to God. Noah, one day, God speaks to him. God says, I'm sorry that I ever made humans. They are corrupted and violent. So I'm going to destroy them. Noah, you have been faithful. Build yourself a ship because I'm going to flood the earth. When the ark is finished, God tells Noah to take 7 pairs of each kind of animal and bird that is used for food and 1 pair of each kind that is not used for food. Noah and his family entered the ark, meaning that he had to take 7 animals of each to be able to eat for how long he was going to be in the water. In the sea. And 2 of each animal that were going to be reproduced to reproduce the whole land again of animals. Noah obeys and begins building an ark. He follows the instructions that God gives him. Then the people's thought are, that's crazy. Noah thinks he can float a boat on dry land. What will he think of next? For those who don't know, you see this a little bit later in the Bible, but before then it had never rained on earth ever. Like, it had never rained on earth from that time. Nobody had ever seen rain fall from the sky. No one had ever seen water, as they would say, because they didn't even have a name for it, but they wouldn't have ever seen like droplets come out of the sky. And then you might be asking, then how did they farm? Well, they went to a nearby river and brought the water to their farming, but it had never rained on earth ever. And this is a really big factor because everyone was making fun of him because obviously, like, how is he gonna float it on dry land? Like, why didn't he start making it in the water? Like, they never thought, because they had never seen it, that it could rain. They didn't even know the thought of raining. And a lot of people don't know that, but it is. And I'll try to but like show you guys where in the Bible exactly it says that Noah didn't know that Noah didn't know what rain was. Just to let you guys know if you guys are doubting or anything, but it does say in the Bible that Noah never knew and had never seen rain in his life, and it had never rained on earth ever, so no one knew what it was. And everyone was laughing at him because he's like, how is he going to do it on dry land? Like, how is he going to get that? He's creating such a big boat for like dry land. Like, why didn't he start creating it near a river or near a lake? But the thing is that they didn't know it was going to rain because they didn't know any of that. And that is a really big factor because Noah believed and had faith in that it was going to rain. Or Noah believed that something was going to happen, that God told him, you know, there's this thing, and God was telling him, like, it's like water is going to come from the sky. And Noah was like, I've never seen that happen. But that's the thing about Noah having faith. He didn't say, that has never happened on earth, so like, why would I believe you? But he was like, okay, God is all-knowing, and he knows what he says, and he knows the truth, so I will believe him, and somehow he will help this ark get out of the water. So just a key factor, for those who remember, it had never rained on earth ever, and no one really knew what rain was. So that's a really big factor on Noah's faith and how obedient he was. So this is what that page looks like that I just read. Next page, it says, the people say, oh, now I've seen everything. Old Noah spent 120 years building that huge ship, but he never thought about who would close the door. Meaning, who would close the door because it's such a big ship. And then people say, either he's crazy or he knows something we don't. And he's like, don't start preaching like Noah. Like, these are people making fun of him. A few days later, the windows of heaven opened and the rains poured down. Flowed waters rised rapidly. Then it says, maybe Noah was right about his ark. Don't worry, there's never enough water to build for here to float a boat before. Yes, but it's never also rained like this before because, well, there's never been rain. And then it says, look, the doors of Noah's ark are closing, but who is shutting it? Could it be that Noah's God? So they're like, who is closing the doors? Like, it's such a big ship, like, who would close the doors? And that, it could have been God. But it is too late. The people who have spent their lives rejecting now see that God has finally rejected them. Then it rains and pours steadily for 40 days and 40 nights. And it looks like this. That's what the page looks like. So I'm going to stop right there because that's mostly the part I wanted to see about obedience. But then he goes on and how he goes on and how his days on the ship were and things like that. If you want more insight on that, I could definitely do like a Bible study on it, or like you guys could definitely check it out or something. But that's mostly the part that I wanted to tell you guys about well, Noah. And those are like two amazing stories that we see in the Bible that are about obedience because, well, Adam and Eve, they weren't obedient and they got kicked out. But 120 years Noah spent building that ark, and people were like, oh my god, like, he's been building that like for his whole lifetime. Well, let's remember people back then lived like 800 years, and that's crazy. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know how that existed, but imagine living 800 years. But maybe it was like, maybe people were like so healthy back then, like there wasn't so much pollution and like things put into animals and things like that. But whatever. I'm running out of topic, so let's rewind back into what the thing is. So we see that definitely Noah didn't like question God. He was like, okay, yeah, God knows everything. He has protected my family. And for those who know, it was not only Noah who went on in the ark, but it was his whole family that went into the ark. And it was because they all had some kind of faith, and they all had faith and knew about God, that they went into the ark. But everyone else, because the earth was so bad, and Noah was the only like faithful and trustworthy and like humble person towards God, and that's amazing. And obedience, as we see, is kind of it has a few factors to it. It kind of has like obedience is like doing what is told of you, but not only doing it physically, but accepting it internally, like accepting the things someone told you, or accepting the things that someone like ruled or limit you to. I'm saying like in rule wise, not really like in your life, because you can do anything you like, not anything you want, but you can achieve your dreams and no one has limits for that. But speaking like, for example, in your house you have rules, and if you don't follow them, you get in trouble however which way in your house you get trouble. Or disobedience, we see it's a very big thing, because the first two people on earth couldn't do it, but then Noah could do it. And we see that, the way that Eve sinned was because she was tempted, and the way she was disobedient and like ate the forbidden fruit, because they had no rules in that garden. The only rule was to not eat one fruit. They had every fruit imaginable, but the one fruit they were told not to do is the fruit they ate. And I see that a lot. For example, like I have a little brother, and I see that they're like very stubborn. Like you tell them, Noah, don't do this, and then he's like, I'm doing it. What are you gonna do about it? See, I'm doing it right now. And like, I just told him not to do it. And I feel like that's how God is with us. He's like, don't do this, but yet we do it. And that's what sinning is. Like, God gave us rules, and we can't follow those 10 commandments every single day because we sin. We're humans, and just a part of being in a human and flesh form means that you sin. Just being flesh means that you sin. And nobody's perfect on earth. Like I said, we are all born with sin. But being able to be obedient is being able to also put a limit to temptations that are given to you based on the things that we want to achieve. Because here we see that Noah, he was building that ark for 120 years, and like for 120 years people made fun of him, but yet 120 years people made fun of him. But yet he didn't say, okay, like I've been working on this for like way too long, it's never gonna happen, you know what, I'm just gonna take a rest. But he worked on that thing every single day. He persevered, and he worked on that every single day of his life. Well, not his life, but every single day of 120 days. So I hope that you guys liked this video. I hope that you guys understood something, and that we try to be more obedient, and especially to the rules that are set for us up in heaven and on earth, and the things that God and expect from us that are the right thing to do. So I hope you guys have a good day, and see you guys on Wednesday. And I see you guys on Wednesday. Bye bye. Enjoy. And don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to those around you. Bye bye, guys.